Hi, my name is Cassandra Munoz. I'm about to perform a mini mental exam on my patient. And what this exam does is test for memory deficits, which is also a good indicator of early stage dementia. So this right here is a possible example sheet of a Menti mental exam. So you can see, name 3 animals, this one. We have attention, language, abstraction, delayed recall, and of course orientation, which is the one I'll be beginning with actually. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is ask my patient what year it is. Yeah, the year is 2020. It is May, and the season is spring. And these types of questions are mostly testing the temporal region aspect of their brain. The next one I will be testing is their geographical orientation. This includes where are we now, what state are we in, what country is this, and what city is this, followed by what floor in the hospital are we in. Under registration form, I am going to be asking my patient to name 3 objects and then to recall those 3 objects in about 3 minutes. Okay, I'm going to ask you to name these 3 objects: banana, apple, and pie. Go ahead and repeat those back to me 9 different times right now, if you can. Remember, it's banana, if the apple, patient is able to name all 3, then you give them 3 points. If they're only able to name 2 of the 3, 2 points, and 1 out of 3 if they get 1 right, and a 0 if it's none. And you also want to include that you repeat these 3 objects until the patient has learned them, like about, I would say, like 9 times or 10 times tops, and then ask for them to recall those items later on. And the 3 objects would fall under how good their recall memory is intact. For language, you can point at items in the room that are easy for both you and the patient to name, such as a clock, a cup, their clothes, socks, anything like that. And if they're able to state those objects correctly, go ahead and give 1 point to each correct answer. Another thing that falls under language would be to ask the patient to repeat back to you no, ifs, and, or, buts, or another type of phrase. Basically a type of simple tongue twister. The next thing for this mini mental exam would be, is the patient able to follow commands? So we want to make sure that can they touch the tip, from the tip of their hand to the tip of their nose? Are they able to pat their head? If they're able to do so for all 3 commands, then go ahead and give them 3 marks or 3 check marks, however you prefer. The following thing we're going to go ahead and do is if they're able to read a direction off the paper and follow its command. It could be as simple as close your eyes, and or anything that the paper is telling them to do that is pretty simple to follow. We would give 1 mark once that is completed. Okay, miss, so with that same paper, I'm going to go ahead and give you a pen. Go ahead and write down any sentence you can think of. Okay. The next thing we'll test for is calculation. Are they able to subtract 7 from 100? To start there, so 100 minus 7. You would try to explain this to them and have them repeat the result for at least 5 different times. And if they're able to successfully subtract 7 from 100, then 93 to 86, 79 to 65, we're going to go ahead and give them a mark. All right, miss, so the next thing I'm going to go ahead and have you do is on that next step on your sheet of paper, if you can please spell out the word backwards now. Okay. 5 points will be given to the patient if they correctly can spell it backwards. This is usually the part where you see like two kind of pentagons together, and then you ask the patient to sort of copy it on the right hand side or below or on a different sheet of paper. But if they're able to, then we will go ahead and give them the 1 point for doing it correctly. The key word being correctly, if they can draw the shape. It can't, if we're asking them to draw a square, it can't be a circle, it can't be a heart, it can't be anything else but the square. The mini mental exam would be 27 to 30, which is normal. And if it's 26 down to 21, then that would be mild cognitiveness, like impairment. 11 to 20 would rank it as moderate cognitive impairment, and all the way down from 10 to basically 0 is severe. This test is usually performed on the elderly, and as I said previously, it can detect early signs of dementia and other cognitive decline.